Chris Mackowski for Emerging Civil War. Glad to be with you here at Gettysburg for the 156th anniversary, spending a few days here hanging out. And I'm on East Cemetery Hill, where I wanted to kind of share one of my favorite little observations or insights about the battlefield. This is actually the oldest preserved ground here at Gettysburg, the 4 acres on the top of East Cemetery Hill. And it is most notably adorned by 2 statues, one of which is Oliver Otis Howard, who earns the ignoble nickname Uh-oh Howard because of his twin collapses at Chancellorsville in May of '63, and then 2 months later here at Gettysburg in July of '63. And then across the hill, just a few yards away, over my left shoulder, is Winfield Scott Hancock. Hancock the Superb, the Pennsylvanian here fighting on his home state soil, and very different statues that tell very different stories about these 2 men, both of whom were here on the evening of July 1st to help redirect the collapsing Union line into what becomes a very formidable position over the course of the next few days. And these 2 statues perched atop this hill tell pretty interesting stories and reflect these commanders and their styles. Let's use the magic of technology to go over and take a look at Winfield Scott Hancock, because his statue appeared here first. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania dedicated the Hancock Monument on June 5th, 1896. Cost him $30,000. And the sculptor, ironically, was named Frank Ewell, which is the last name of the Confederate commander who's going to assault here on the evening of July 2nd. A little bit of irony. The most notable feature about the Hancock statue is that it is motion captured in a quick instant of bronze. But his hand is extended, his horse is in movement, he looks as though he is giving an order, his expression is confident, unpanicked, and yet he's in the process of talking with and commanding his men. It is the perfect pose of active leadership. In the meanwhile, Oliver Otis Howard presents a much different view. And just like that, through the magic of technology, we have skipped across the battlefield just a few yards, which makes us more dynamic and active than Uh-oh Howard was. There you can see he's firmly planted on the ground, as though he is the definition of stable, stern, steady leadership. In some ways, and don't make too much of this, but in some ways the statue reminds me of Stonewall Jackson's statue at Manassas, where again, little sorrel beefed up like one of the Budweiser Clydesdales is firmly planted on the ground, and Jackson's a very heroic pose, very puffed up. Howard has that same sense here, although there's more of a sense of stoicism about this statue as well. Although Howard was here first on July 1st, 1863, of course, Hancock's statue will be here first, and then Howard won't show up for another 36 years before the state of Maine finally dedicates his statue in 1932, sculpted by a guy named Robert Akins. And one of the things that I think is really cool, and I invite you to come up here and check this out for yourself, is that it's like the 2 statues are ignoring each other, maybe reflective of some of the tension that might have been here on that first day of battle. I'm Chris Mackowski for Emerging Civil War.